friends and other spectators? It got me more confident when I was playing football because like I knew what the referee would call, like offsides. I knew to step up so the player could be offside. I knew like fouls, so I could call to the referee like when to foul, or yeah,
You use what your advantage.
yeah.
So do you know what I was gonna say? I feel like I agree with everything that they said. Like once you know like the rules and the rules that you have to abide by, you're able to not like manipulate them, but you're able to say, okay, this is what I can do and this is what I can't do. So it allows you to play. I feel like it allows you to play at a higher level almost because you're able to like recognize like the limit of things that you can and can't do.
Do you believe it improves your game itself because now you understand the different things in different situations?
Yeah, I do think so.
What advantage could you possibly use your officiating to help you in your game? And we'll start on this end this time.
Okay. I think I could use it to advantage because I'm able to like communicate with my team and tell them like maybe they're not as educated about the rules and things that they can and can't do. So I'll be able to be like, okay, step so we get them offside, or don't follow her because these are the consequences, etc., etc. So I feel like it allows me to be more educated and more knowledgeable when I'm playing the game.
I feel like in games it will help me like as a defender, I would know my limits towards fouls and going into tackles. So
And for me, like Koa said, like basically you have like a whole different look at it. Like you're able to communicate with your teammates and help them understand more about the game because you know more.
Is officiating something you consider fun at times, or you find it challenging?
Well, I find it very fun. I enjoy like seeing like the young children like playing football and doing the little pushing and falling is very like entertaining, and at the same time it can be challenging because you have to make sure that you do your best to make all the right calls and you can't let other people like interfere or like change your mind about what you want to call.
well, I find it fun because you get to see like a little 7-year-old play a through ball and then score top corner and like you feel like so proud because like you could just see that. But like a challenging part, you would be the supporters are like they support, but like they kind of like over support for the children. So it's kind of challenging dealing with the comments about you on the side.
Mhm.
But, yeah.
I do enjoy it. When I first started, I was way more nervous than I am now.
Mhm.
I have gained more confidence in the referee part, but yeah, like the spectators are just the hardest part probably for me.
Do you guys fear like when you're assigned to a game? Are you more worried about what happens off the field and on the field as opposed to like the parents, like the spectators themselves?
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like if it was like I understand like the spectators and stuff like they're part of the game, they hype it up and everything. But I feel like if it was just the players and us, it would be so much more like
Relaxing.
yeah, because you're able to just focus, just be like, okay, this is a foul, this is not a foul, this is a foul.
Right,
And it's like, oh wow, my son kicked it out, it's kind of
Right.
like controversial.
Now you know how your parents were when you was that age. Are you obviously, particularly, you're involved in so many other things, but how do you divide your time up to play football, officiate, and do the 200 things you do?
Luckily, we do have like Mr. Cranston, and he helps manage the referee and like schedule around like what we have to do sometimes. So if I just let him know that I do have a football game or something else that I have to do, then he'll just tell me, okay, well, I'll give you either a game at a later time, or we'll just wait till next week and you could just do another one when you have more time.
What other things do you do outside of football?
It's just my education that I'm worried about.
Right.
some other sports, but it's not really that important. That's
Yeah.
football. So
Football's your life.
I guess so.
But that and education.
Yeah.
Are you having fun at education or are you challenging?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Do you guys find you're able to look at school a little different because you have a big responsibility as an official? You have to concentrate a lot more. You have to take it a little more serious. But do you see that reflecting in your school life? No.
I feel like it kind of makes you more mature, I guess. Like, yeah, I'm like, like you have to be able to make decisions and make them effectively and make them so that they benefit as many people as possible. So I feel like that transfers over to school because like there are a lot of decisions that have to be made like in the classroom and out of the classroom. So I feel like having that balance is like helpful.
You're almost done. You're almost done. You'll be able to breathe in a few minutes because the other two have arrived. But overall, is it something you think you can carry on doing for a while, officiating?
I actually want to get a FIFA license in officiating or a match commissioner. So
Oh, great ambitions. Look forward to seeing you on that list. Yeah. It's not hard.
yes.
You've seen others. There's somebody in Bermuda that's already done it.
Yes.
So that's inspiration for you. So good luck. I want to wish you guys all the best for the remainder of the season, both playing and officiating, as well as your schoolwork as well. So keep up the good work, right? And I'll let you guys go off, and then we'll be joined in a second. Welcome.
Welcome.
Introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. My name is Emily Cabral. I'm 14 years old. I play with Bermuda under 15 and under 17 national team, and I attend Soltis Grammar School.
Wow, that's a lot. Your turn.
Good afternoon. My name is Danny Watson. I also attend Soltis Grammar School. I'm 15 years old, and I currently play for Bermuda's under 15, under 17, and under 20 national teams.
Wow. And you also officiate.
Yes.
And officiate.
Yeah. Well, I've actually seen both of you officiate games. Tell us a little bit about what you guys, how confidence has grown from the first time you would have done it to now.
So when I first started, I was really nervous because I felt like I was going to make the wrong calls or like not make the proper calls. But once you get into it, you actually feel like really more confident because you know the rules and you know how the game is played. So I think that definitely boosted up my confidence.
What about you, Danny?
I think that like at first I was really timid, of course, especially when I started doing linesmen for like under 13 matches. It's like harder to like keep your first mind because you hear like all the like crowd and stuff in the background. But I think once I finally like had that confidence in myself that I'm making the right decision, it was easier to like. Yeah.
When you find yourself in the middle of these youth games, and do you ever look back and say, I remember when I was that age. I remember when I used to do this. And do you find yourself like on your mind drifting as that's what I used to do?
Yeah.
Especially if it's like a more like if it's a more dominant game towards one team, you find yourself just watching, especially if like it's like a really good team and like they're playing good football, or like one of the younger teams like miss kick, and I'll be like, I remember when I used to do that. And then sometimes you see like the really good teams, and then it's like, I wish I was that good when I was that age. And yeah, it's nice.
When you guys now, well, you're into the national program, obviously that's a lot more training, it's a lot more discipline, it's a lot more work. How has your officiating assisted you in that regard as far as the national team set up?
I would say it's definitely given us a lot of rules of what we can and can't do on the field. I've definitely learned like more about like the actual rules and like the techniques and everything of how you have to do everything. And that, like, when you yell at the ref, you think about yourself and, like, how people yell at you, so.
You used to yell at the ref all the time.
Yes.
I can always tell the ones that always referee, 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 and now it's I'm the referee. It's a different. It's a big difference now, isn't it? It's a when you guys see or you playing international football and you're looking at officials, how they're presenting themselves, how how their mannerism is. And at the time, I don't think you guys were officiating when your last tour, the under-15 tour.
I think I was.
You were.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, we were.
Oh,
We
okay.
were.
So did you find yourself at times watching how they handled themselves and how you would possibly handle yourself in that same regard?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, I think sometimes, like, especially with tackles, because like that's like my thing to do. So like I would especially when we had I believe it was like FIFA referees or CONCACAF referees come down and talk to
Right.
us, a few of us, and give us like a little brief. They like give us like some really good insight on tackles specifically,
Mm-hmm.
and like I feel like when we was in the under-15 tournament, it was more of like when like they would call a foul, I would look at it like again in my head and replay it and be like, was that really a foul? Or like, was that really a yellow? Like, do I really think that that person deserved the yellow? So like I think that it like gives us more insight and like we can use more of our judgment now because like we have like a little bit more experience in the game.
Right. So in your head, did they deserve it?
Sometimes, sometimes when it's not me.
Right. Yeah. Yellow card, Danny Watson, yes. Are you guys having fun at it though?
Yes, I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I would say. Yeah.
Both playing and officiating?
Yes.
I think like it's good for us when it's a balance of both. For me, I prefer like assistant referee just because I really like working with the flag. I don't know why. I just I don't know. And I don't really like being in the middle as much as I like being on the line, but I think it's fun.
Right. Now you had a game late Saturday because you were getting to your game. Or
This
was it you?
Saturday?
Yeah, this Saturday.
St. George's?
Yeah.
Against St. George, I was late.
Yeah, you were late. Yeah, you had a game. You had done a game.
Yes, I was reffing a game.
Right. Now, when it's tight like that, do you feel rushed when you have to
Yes.
play right after?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it all depends on like I guess where it is because if you're refereeing at the same place you have to play, it's much easier.
Right.
But if it's like in a whole different location and you could have scheduled a time before, I think it just makes it like inconvenient for me.
Because I was at the stadium and I saw you rushing in because those
Yeah.
guys were getting ready to actually start or finishing up the warm up and you were just coming. So it's like, well, it's kind of difficult because you don't have that time to first sit down, relax, and then be
Yeah.
ready to play because it's. Do you find it mentally challenging officiating? Not so mental as playing?
I think the most mental challenge is just like how you're gonna get to your game or the next place you have to be.
Right.
If you don't have transportation, like scheduled transportation, it's like harder.
I
Right.
also think it's tougher, like especially when like when you have to get to your game, like you have to be there. Like, well, most coaches want you to be there at least an hour before, like 45 minutes before. So, like, you think you have that time in between like the start of your game and like when you finish your match, when really you don't because you have to warm up.
Right.
I think that's like one of the most mentally challenging things because you have to come straight from your referee match, especially if it was a tough one. You're running up and down a lot and then run straight into your warm up. So, yeah.
So you were already warm for St. George's on
Yeah.
Saturday. Do you guys mind playing with the boys at the age that you're playing with?
No, not really, because it helps us it helps me develop better as a player and like build up my strengths and like what I have to do and like what it helps me to be at the top level. So it just helps me develop as a player.
I mean, Emma's been playing with the boys a little longer than I have, but like I think for me, the best like experience I got out of it was being able to play in our age group. Like I know a lot of the guy coaches think that like some girls should play under and things like that, but I think that playing in our own age group against boys, it definitely helps our strength, but also mentally because especially playing for our team, we both play for Somerset. They not only accept us as players, but they listen to us. So it helps our confidence as well playing. So it's like we know that our teammates are not gonna like backlash us.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
When you see, especially at the young age, when you see co-ed teams, is that what you would have hoped for years ago? Because when you have talented females playing with guys, sometimes actually helps you develop a little more and a little faster, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Back to officiating. What has been your challenge?
I would say probably mostly the spectators, because the spectators definitely like influence the players sometimes, saying like, oh, that was a foul, and then the players are just like, oh, referee, that was a foul. But like sometimes I would just want to show the players what they actually did, so like they know how to foul, because if I did it to them, they would of course say, oh yeah, that was a foul.
Right.
So how are you going to do it to someone else? But yeah, I would say that's the most challenging.
I think it's especially harder when, like, sometimes you know that the, like, mom or, like, the nana or, like, just, like, the grandparent, like, may not know what, like, a fall really is. But, like, you have to accept that they're just, it's a football game.
It's
They're going to
emotional
say
for them,
it
yeah,
comes out, you know, but then it's like, you really don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna play my
just take
game
it.
and yeah.
If you were to talk to your peers, obviously you both go to Salters, and let's talk. You're going to talk to people that are not involved in football. But if you were to talk them into trying to officiate, what would some of the things you would tell them or advise them to get on board? Oh.
I think I tell them that it would improve your game. Like if you were looking to do football or like try football, I think that you should like try officiating first, because you'd be more advanced, like knowing the rules of the game, like the back of your hand, before you even start playing. So you already have that upper leg. So now that you know the rules at the back of your hand, when you come into the field, you can see everything. And like you can know that if I run this way and this player hits me in this way, or like if I angle my body in this way and the player hits me like that, it's going to be a foul. I mean, that's not, you know, but it still helps your game.
It's also like, I guess, a training video if you're a beginner, especially since if you're watching the little ones, so that you could see how they play and like how they start off and like plays and sets that they do and scoring and everything. So I think that would definitely help you if you're a beginner. So.
What do you guys, when you're not playing, what are some of the things you're doing? Or you're not officiating, what are some of the things you're doing?
After school, I would probably say doing different school sports, or I'm doing my homework, or I'm
Good plug. Good plug.
education, or I'm just doing chores at school, at home.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
Outside of like school sports, this is like my GCSE year, so education most of the time, and then like for me, football is my life. So if I'm not officiating, I'm playing, and if I'm not playing, then I'm coaching. So it's like football for me.
How are you making out in this GCSEs?
Wow.
Good.
Not a good plug. Got a good cheerleader with you.
I got 2 more months to study, sir.
Right. But looking at the whole program, let's talk about the entire program, because you guys are part of the National Academy. Being part of that group and also tying in officiating, does that kind of help you balance your life, because realistically, what you guys were able to accomplish as a young team puts you in the light of a lot of people as role models at a young age. So do you feel that added weight, not pressure, but added, such as role models, do you feel that added extra on you guys?
I think that, like, especially when we was out there as a young team, international, I got my first international yellow for saying something to a ref.
Right.
So it definitely helped me to be like, okay, maybe you were wrong, you know, especially like knowing the rules, knowledge of referee, officiating, things like that. But as far as younger girls being a role model, I think that it shows them that you can be more than just a player in football. You can contribute in so many different ways in football. Like even if you like let's say like not didn't have what it takes, but like you never made the national team, you can be a referee and officiate, and you can still represent your country. Or you can be a coach and still represent your country, even though you didn't play. You know the rules of the game, and like you can work from there.
Well, ladies, I want to thank you very much for your time. You both can breathe now. I do appreciate your time, and good luck with everything that you guys decide to do. I know you got colleges knocking down your doors, universities, and all that good stuff. But let football take you as far as it could possibly take you, no matter what it is involving, playing, officiating, coaching. just anything, just let sports in general take you and let you fly as high as you possibly are. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, folks, that's it for Referee's Corner right here on IslandStats.com. I'm your host, Earl Basin, and join me next week when I'll have more officials here at the Bermuda Football Association General's office.